This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the DC Multiverse Azrael in Batman armor. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcased in your standard Multiverse window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see a really cool image of the character from the comic books. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. Alright guys, let's check out this Azrael in Batman armor. Now, holy crap, this thing is mind-blowingly cool looking. I've always loved Azbat's look when, back in the day when I used to read the comic books, but this new suit is insane, man. It just looks so wicked cool. So I do want to get a lot of close-ups of this. The helmet looks amazing. I really dig the design here. The sculpt is incredible, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people aren't giving McFarlane toys enough credit for, is the amount of sculpting that we're getting, original sculpts for a lot of the figures, you know what I mean? So I think that's really cool, instead of reusing parts after parts after parts after parts, you know what I mean? So I think McFarlane is doing a great job of that. But all the intricacy of, again, the texture, all the line work is just really cool, man. I love that. Even got throwbacks to the old suit with the little gold on the sides like that. Looking really cool too. Even got his own pouches on the leg, again, just like that vintage look, which is really nice, very 90s. So like that again throughout the leg, all the sculpting, the boots, look at the tread on the feet look really, really sharp. Love that. The gauntlets look really good too. Man, there's just lots of sculpting work going on here like that. The blades look really cool. The shoulder pads are nice and beefy. I'll turn them around here like that, kind of see the back here. You can see how the belt curves all the way up over like that, so that's really nice. Really nice gold that we're getting here. I mean, just crazy amounts of detail that McFarlane is giving us with this. So we got the spikes on the back of the spine right here on the back of the neck, which are really pointy. These aren't as soft as I thought. They're actually pretty rigid, so just be careful with that. Cape looks really nice too. But man, lots of detail in this. It's really crazy how McFarlane is like going all out. And again, when it comes to the sculpts and the paintwork, they're just doing some really cool looking figures, and that's exactly why I'm loving what they're doing there. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that I'm having issues with. I know for a lot of people it's character choice. We seem to be getting 50 Batmans, you know what I mean? So I understand, but for me as a Batman fan, I love what they're doing here. And come on, you really have to appreciate the looks that we're getting. Again, the sculpts and the paints are being, not reused after reused parts and things like that. I really respect that. So hopefully that carries on further with other characters. But man, this just looks incredible. Okay, so we don't get a ton of accessories here. We do get a card, which is really nice. We see these with like all the figures now. We just got an image of Azrael in the Batman armor from the Curse of the White Knight. And you have that Curse of the White Knight Batman figure right there, which looks really cool. Loving that. And you read the back here, short little bio for the character, Jean-Paul Valley, and a little bio like that. So if you want to read that, go ahead and pause it now. But that's really cool, man. I love the fact that we get these little bios in card form like that you can collect. We also do get the standard DC Multiverse stand that we get with every figure. And this does come in handy. You're gonna want to use this, and I'll show you here shortly. But we also get his sword that we see right here, which looks really cool too. I love it's almost like a crucifix, a little Jesus right there. I'm assuming that's Jesus. And then with the gold paint, silver, all looks really nice. Very nice, almost like a William Wallace type sword of Claymore, which is really cool too. Now this is the same sword that we've seen with the previous version. The bottom one is the newer one here, done in more of a reddish brown, where this one's a little darker. Even the gold seems a little brighter on this newer one, but it's the exact same thing. Now, one thing that the first Azrael did come with was these flame effects, and this does work for this version as well, so you want to use that. It does work perfectly, so I'm not sure why we didn't get this effect with the new Azrael. It fits perfectly. It's for the exact same sword. Again, even on the card, it shows that his sword's on fire, so I'm not sure why they didn't just include this. If they already have the mold and stuff like that, just throw it in there. It's not a big deal. So, But if you wanted to use it from the other Azrael, you can do that. And it only does fit in his right hand here, and it is very tight, so just be careful. I'm already starting to lose a little paint on the handle a bit there, so it does hold in there very nice and tight. But if you look, like, you'll see some chipping. You'll see some chipping on. See if I can get a close up of that right there on the gold butt of the sword right there. You see that? That's from trying to slide it through the hands and things like that. So, is what it is. It's not terrible though, but again, I do like the sword. Just wish it came with the flame effect piece. That'd been really cool. Okay, so let's check out articulation here. So the head is on a ball joint, rolls around. It does have this collar piece that wraps around like so. So it's going to hinder articulation. You can get left and right a bit, but if you want to go over, it's going to kind of go at an angle because it does hit that collar. Up only about that much, excuse me. Again, because it hits that collar. Down about that far. Pivot side to side. These shoulder pads are on ball pegs, so you can actually pop these off like that. And I'll show you how this is working in here. Arms can go all the way up like that. We got a butterfly joints and a ball peg like that. Rotates like there up at the bicep. And even with this on here, you can still get some pretty good motion there. This doesn't really hinder anything too much. I guess mostly when you go all the way up like this, it's going to hinder it. But you can move it out the way and do pretty much anything you're really going to need. We got a single bend at the elbow, nothing at the glove, ankles, or excuse me, the wrists. Hinge up and down as well as rotate. We do get a ball peg and this little cut right there. It actually almost feels like a double ball peg, like right in the midsection that goes down to his crotch and then into his chest area. So that rolls around, does rotate, pivot side to side, and crunches back and forth. So decent amount of motion, not the greatest, but this is pretty big, bulky armor, so I don't mind that too much. Hip joints get kicked forward, up and out that far, back about that much, splits about that far. Rotation on the ball peg as well as an upper thigh cut like that, so you get lots of rotation in there. We got double jointed knees. For this side, it's going to be hindered a little bit by those pouches, but not much. We got ankle joints that go up, down, rotate, and you can get an ankle rocker, but you have to shift it. And then you got toe articulation. Here's my thing: these ankles are horrible. That is one thing that I hope McFarlane fixes, because those are just utter trash. And I'm being very serious. When you're trying to pose him around, you're gonna need this because it's almost impossible to get him flat-footed. So you're gonna need the stand to balance him out. I was just having such a hard problem with this, and that's pretty much with all the McFarlane figures. This ankle system does not work. I absolutely hate it, and I know a lot of you do too. Maybe some of you like it. I don't understand why. It's trash. I absolutely think it's disgusting. And then the thing is, he's such a top-heavy figure. It almost makes the legs look really, really long because the ball peg extends the ankles, so it makes it look like he has really tiny little thin ankles, which it shouldn't be. But because of the ball extending that just by a little bit, it makes him look like he has really tiny little legs. You know what I mean? So I don't like that at all. So if anything, that's going to be my biggest complaint. But still, this figure is so badass looking. I think he's just so rad. Again, the amount of sculpting that we're getting from McFarlane, the paint is always super awesome. This is just a rad looking toy. I'm definitely going to pose him next to my Hellbat from McFarlane 2, because I think those are both badass looking Batman armors. Such a rad looking figure. And if you can find him, definitely recommend him. He is definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and NECA Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the DC Multiverse Azrael, also from McFarlane. And for even more McFarlane comparisons, here he is standing next to a blue Batman and the Hellbat Batman. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of Azrael in Batman armor. Now overall, I think this is a gorgeous figure, and I think McFarlane is doing an amazing job with all of their figures when it comes down to the sculpt and the paint. They are so well detailed, so cleanly painted. They are just beautiful works of art. Now the articulation isn't so bad on this guy, But man, those ankles are terrible, as they are on all of these multiverse figures. That's something that I really wish they would change. I also wish he had came with that flame effect piece for the sword, but that's not really too big a deal. This is still a badass action figure. Definitely one I wanted to add to the collection because he just looks so freaking cool. And again, McFarlane did an amazing job with him. So if you can find him, I definitely recommend him because he is absolutely a must get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.